Hey ladies and gentlemen, this is HD StarCraft and I'm here to bring you guys semi-final A from the MSI StarCraft 2 tournament. And this has been a long time coming. The tournament has been played out. I know some of you guys have been waiting to see the results. And for all of you who are tuned into the live stream right now, big shout out to you guys for tuning in live for one of the big StarCraft 2 events here right now. And we have in semi-final A, Golden.LighT, formerly from Slayers. He has now moved over to Light. He is going to be the yellow Zerg at the right side of the map. And over on the left, we have MVP.Tails. It will be a Protoss versus Zerg on this hot summer afternoon. It is hot and sunny right now, for me at least. And we will see what happens here. Tails, formerly B-teamer from his MVP. What is he, B-teamer? B-teamer? All right, B-teamer he is. And he is going to be on the left-hand side of the map. He's going to be the Protoss player. So it's a Protoss versus Zerg. And what we should expect to see here is Protoss going right away for their quick expansion. This map really doesn't make it easy, though, for Protoss to really expand right away. A lot of times they won't be able to do the full wall off, but they'll probably just wall straight to the building. And that's why the pylon is placed there. You'll see a forge, you'll probably see a gateway, and then the nexus to kind of block everything off and make it more difficult for the Zerg to get inside. Golden, he's a really, really talented Zerg player. Formerly from Slayers, not sure why he decided to make the switch over to a foreign team Light, but you know, I'd have to give him the edge here in this matchup. I think he's got the slight overall lead when it comes to public opinion, and we will see what happens. Probe makes its way inside the Zerg base right now, and it's going to start to relay any scouting intel back home. And while the game really just gets kickstarted, just wanted to give a big shout out to the guys at MSI and the guys at ESS for helping to set this thing up. This has been a big tournament that has been... Whoa, we have a... We have a cannon coming up here behind the natural expansion, but I'm pretty sure that Golden's going to be able to scout this out. There it is, as the drone makes its way over. And usually Protoss can kind of get that in, but whoa, look at that! There's a gateway and another pylon coming! So now the drone is stuck inside, but the drone doesn't do enough damage really to kill off the photon cannon. And now Golden's going to have to think, well, what do I do to deal with this? Maybe he'll pull the queen off from the main, but the queen's not out yet. He might have to pull more drones off. He might opt to just cancel this hatchery. The pylon has been canceled off already as Tails realized that the drone was going to go down. Now the Zerglings have come out, and if they can get rid of this probe, that at least gives the Zerg one benefit. They realize, hey, they don't have to deal with any more photon cannons unless another probe comes in. So it's just one photon cannon that Golden has got to deal with. And he's got a lot of Zerglings here. He's got some time too. I don't think he's going to cancel the hatchery. It's got still 900 hit points to work through, but there's a gateway there, and a Zealot is starting to make its way out, and that kind of complicates things a little bit because, well, Zealot and a photon cannon much more effective than just a photon cannon by itself. The Zealot can also just hold position here and protect the cannon for a very long time. Zealot being chrono boosted out right now. Another probe makes its way over, and Golden should kill off the probe first. He does. The probe falls down. Now he's going to go after the pylon so he can open up the photon cannon, which has been so beautifully placed. There's a Zealot that is out on the field. It's starting to attack the queen as well, and the queen gets pulled away at the very last second, but the pylon doesn't go down, and Golden's actually in a lot of trouble. However, remember guys, his queen stayed alive, and that's so important. He can continue to inject larvae and get units out, and now, you know, if he loses the hatchery, he's going to be in a very bad spot, but he's got a second queen coming. Third queen, actually. That's 3 queens total. He should have enough firepower to blow through this pylon, and it goes down! And so without the pylon, there's no more power for that photon cannon. Everything goes unpowered. So, looks like Golden will keep the hatchery, after all, at 430 HP. The photon cannon and the unpowered gateway now will eventually fall, remnants of that Protoss attack. There's another hatchery coming up for Golden at the same time. Now you've got to kind of ask yourself, was that attack fruitful for Tails? He threw away gateway, gateway, a photon cannon, and a pylon, 2 probes, a Zealot, and he didn't really kill off the hatchery. He didn't really kill off that many drones. I do feel like the Zerg has, you know, being able to hold off that attack and able to expand over to the third here is looking pretty good. You know, after all, he did have to cut a lot of drones in order to make that many Zerglings. We'll just have to see what happens, but I think Golden is in a much better position than, say, if he had lost his hatchery. That would have been terrible for him. And right now it looks like over on the Protoss side, we do have the Cybernetics Core researching Warp Gate, as to be expected. Gateway right now making a sentry out of the out of the first round, and there are 2 gases inside the main along with the 3rd gas on the way for Tails. We'll see which avenue he takes with that Vespene gas. Another probe on the bottom side, and I don't think Tails, yeah, he did get the scout in there, and he saw the hatchery coming up. So right now the game's kind of reset itself to where things are kind of even. The Zerg has 3 bases, the Protoss has 2 bases, and we're kind of going into the macro game with that mindset. Excuse me while I put myself on mute, and we'll see what happens. Zergling runs in here, just kind of gets a poke at the front door. The Forge is researching +1 weapons right now, and a lot of gateways coming up in the background. That's going to be a total additional 5 gateways with the Twilight Council. That's 4 gateways and a Twilight Council, excuse me. So we could have a quick blink upgrade coming out from Tails here, as Roaches are on the way, or at least Roachworn is, and drones coming up behind that to back up the economy for Golden.LighT. Evolution Chamber, as to be expected. You always want to get Evo Chambers as Zerg just to deal with anything like a quick air, Stargate, or anything like that. You can get Spore Crawlers out. Also, the upgrades are really nice for Zerg as well. Lair now finally on the way for Golden, who still is really only working off of 2 gases, and the 2 gases not being at the main, actually being at the natural, where the macro hatchery is now on the way, and Golden.LighT starting to power up that economy and get into high gear. The tab's still showing 68 supply to 58 supply, so I still think it's a very close game, but the next focus of this battle is really going to hinge on the Protoss attack. He's going to have Blink coming. He's going to have at least +1 weapons finish. He might even go for +2, but the Overlord gets inside, and it scouts out the Twilight Council, which is so big. That tells the Zerg everything he needs to know. And right now, really, Golden should just be preparing for a Blink Stalker attack. That's the route that the Protoss was going for in the first place, as more gateways are being added down, and now another Nexus down at the 6 o'clock position, so it will be 3 base affair to 3 bases. A lot of sentries on the field as well for Tails as he's making his way down. The ramp's going to start to zap away some of those Zerglings that were hiding under the cliff in the shade, and I wish I had some shade right now. It is so hot. But see what happens. Tails has more Zealots warping in. Does he have Stalkers yet? You know, interestingly, he's researching Blink, but he's really not made that many Stalkers at all. This is his initial army. He used his warp-in rounds on Zealots, and, you know, there's going to be this Blink upgrade here, but he's not really going to have that many Stalkers on the field. Blink Stalkers are actually tremendously good against Roaches, especially ones that don't have speed, and Golden.LighT comes in here with some Roaches, just does a little bit of damage on this Nexus. I really don't think it's going to be anything permanent, but the Force Fields end up whipping the last 2 Wolf Hatch. And these Roaches are going to go down as Stalkers start to round out the number and make things a little bit more balanced for Tails. But, you know, Tails, I think, still looking pretty good here. He needs that 3rd Nexus, though. Did he cancel the Nexus? He actually does not have it up at all right now, so he might have just ended up canceling it from the Roach attack. Not quite sure right there. But it looks like we're going to have an attack coming out from Tails. I mean, he is down 1 Nexus. He has to make an attack right now. And he's coming into the Zerg base with everything that he's got. And these are the Stalker numbers I was hoping to see Tails would have sooner rather than later. But he's got him at the very least. He's got a huge attack here with Golden.LighT in the background. Has to pull drones off the line, but he comes in with a flank of Zerglings. Will it be enough firepower for Golden to take out this army? The Force Fields are perfect, but the Roaches, being that they don't have speed, they're so hard to maneuver when there's already that barrier on the ground being Force Fields, and Tails is just going to force the GG out of Golden.LighT. So the first game of this best of 5 set for the MSI StarCraft 2 Grand Finals tournament, I should say, is going to go to Tails, and we're going to have Game 2 coming up after this. Hope you guys enjoyed. And big shout out to all the guys on the stream as well as the guys on YouTube. I'll see you guys in game number 2. HD signing out.